Wonderful day. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. Today on the Black Financial Channel, I want to talk to you about the state of the economy. A lot of people believe that the economy is doing badly, which is very surprising to experts because most indicators say that the economy is doing quite well. So I'm going to explain some of this, what they call economic cognitive dissonance, and why in the world we would have one situation where the economy is doing extremely well, but so many people think that it's doing bad. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under the B1 condition. B1 means we are Black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means we invest for our kids. Black first means that we love ourselves. If you think that that's okay, if you believe that Black people can love ourselves without being accused of disliking white people, then put a B1 in the chat. Let me know if you agree. I think that it's time for our community to step up our economic game, because if we do not step up our economic game, then we're always going to struggle. So let me know if you agree. Give me a yes if you agree. Also, give me a quick yes if you can hear me okay. Good morning, El Haj. Good morning, Black Bezos. Good morning, Stephen Wisdom. I know that I'm up early in the morning today, but and I shout out to everybody who's up early. And I know we got a lot of love in London, and so I know in London it's a little bit later on in the day. And so what's up to everybody in here? And if you're watching later on in the afternoon, feel free to check this podcast out here on YouTube and also on Spotify. I have two podcasts on Spotify. One's the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, where I talk about a broad range of issues, economic and otherwise. And then the other's called How to Make Money Without Working, where I focus specifically on ways to generate passive income as well as understand how economics works. So if you want to look up either one of those podcasts, How to Make Money Without Working or the Dr. Boyce Breakdown, feel free to look up my name on Spotify. All right, so let me know if you can hear me. Give me a quick yes if you can hear me. What's up, Ryan Turner? I see you. ETV, Sherwin LeBlanc, I see you in there as well. All right, shout out the city you're from as well. All right, so here's what I wanted to talk about. This is kind of crazy. So right now, the economy is in a weird state where the actual economy, the actual state of the economy, when they measure the economic indicators, is very different from what people think the economy is doing. If you ask people, like if I was to ask you, like, do you think the economy is strong or weak or what would you say? What would you say? And as you answer the question, I'm gonna tell you what has been going on that's been confusing the researchers. So basically, uh, generally speaking, the economy is very strong. And the problem they've run into is that when they ask individual people, well, how's the economy doing for you? They're saying it's very bad, it's very weak, things are not good. And they couldn't understand what was going on. They were looking at different things like political party affiliation. For example, they expect that when a Republican is in office, Democrats are going to say the economy sucks. And when a Democrat's in office, Republicans are going to say the economy sucks. So that's kind of to be expected. But even accounting for that, they still cannot account for what they call this sort of economic version of cognitive dissonance, which is really interesting to me. And I have some thoughts on it. I'm going to share those thoughts. But let me read an article to you from Reuters to kind of explain some of this. It says Americans' already negative assessments of the U.S. economy have become slightly worse in September. Now, this is a little bit old. This goes back to September, but it's still relevant to what we're talking about, both in their perception and current economic conditions and their outlook for the economy's direction. In this month's update, 20% of U.S. adults said economic conditions are excellent or good, while 32% said only fair and 48% said poor. So almost half of the respondents said that the economy is in a poor state. 32% said only fair. So if you add 32 plus 48, you get about 80% of people believing the economy is either fair or poor. And even during that time, even during September, the economy was actually quite strong. You don't get a much tighter labor market in terms of job opportunities, things like that, than you have right now. The stock market has been killing it. If you've been investing in stocks consistently, congratulations, because you've probably been making money. If you haven't done that yet, I want to encourage you. You got to understand that the stock market that's the dividing line, folks. That's the thing that makes the difference between wealthy people and people who are not wealthy. I looked at all the research. I've looked at all the data. I'm not just a YouTuber. I'm a finance professor. And I can tell you that in all the research I saw, the stock market was the number one factor that determined who was going to be rich and who's going to be poor. So if you want your kids to be rich, how many of y'all want your kids to be successful? How many of you want your kids to be better off than you were? How many of you want your kids to be on top and not the bottom? Give me a yes in the chat. If you're in that category, You got to get your kids invested in the stock market. We have something in the Black Business School called the $5 a day investing plan. It's totally free. You can have it for free. Just text the word stock to 31996. I'll send you the $5 a day investing plan. I'll even send you some stocks, some AI stocks that I like, and a bunch of other things. So feel free to text the word stock to 31996. So let me read more of this. It says in this month's update, 20% of U.S. adults, okay, I already read about that, asked about the economy's direction. Nearly 3/4 of Americans say the conditions are getting worse, while 24% say they are improving. Current pessimism about the economy outpaces 66% to 67%, saying the economy was getting worse over the summer months, while it's on par with the readings last spring. Let's see what else to say. It says the latest results are from a September 1st to 23rd Gallup poll conducted as the risk of a U.S. government shutdown was intensifying with the approach of the September 30th deadline. Gallup combines Americans' ratings into an index representing net optimism about the economy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The Consumer Confidence Index currently stands at 39 points, or 9 points below its August reading. The index has been negative every month since the start of the pandemic in 2020, except for 2 readings in early 2021. It was substantially more negative in mid-2022 with high inflation, including record high gas prices, distressed consumers. Although much reduced today, ongoing inflation has likely contributed to the continuation of negative ECI scores, that's economic confidence, for what is now the 26th straight month. So effectively what has happened here, this is what I'm going to speculate. I'm speculating that we have kind of an after effect from COVID. I think that since COVID ended, or since that pandemic ended, you have a lot of just sheer economic pessimism that's kind of taken place. I think that the pandemic was kind of the great reset economically. That was when a lot of people realized that, hey, I don't want to spend all my time on the corporate plantation, and so effectively, people are confused about the state of the economy. People, you can give them a good economy, and everybody, first of all, the state of the broader economy doesn't always match the state of your economy, right? So, in general, how you're feeling right now and where you are right now is not always directly connected to how the overall economy is feeling right now. I think that a lot of what looks like a strong economic performance is most likely to affect wealthy people. I think that if you ask rich people how they're feeling, a lot of rich people are going to feel good, especially if the stock market's doing well, housing prices are doing well, things like that. When you talk about how working class people are feeling, that's going to be more connected to things like wages and salaries, which generally speaking haven't been going up. In fact, one of the reasons why I've asked you all to reconsider things like college and stuff like that is because when you look at economic performance of college graduates, it's going down, down, down. It's sinking every year, but the debt levels are going up, 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 and also the disconnect between the skills you pick up in college and the skills you need to be successful in the economy are disconnected. Especially when you're black. When you're black, it's a quadruple effect because black people don't need the same things economically speaking as white people. In the sense that if you are connected to the black community, your skill that you need is the skill of a builder. You need the skills of people that can establish institutions and systems and delegation and things like that. The job seeker skill doesn't necessarily benefit a black person who graduates from college as much as it benefits a white person because white America has a different kind of a different kind of economic infrastructure that they can step into than you do, right? And I think that that's an important point that you have to understand is that black economics ain't the same as white economics because you're not white. So that means that you might go to college and say, well, Becky took out, $250,000 in student loans to go to college. I can do the same thing. Well, Becky doesn't have the same family that you have. Maybe Becky got an inheritance. Maybe Becky is going to get better job opportunities. Maybe Becky has a little bit more wealth in her family that can help her get out of that debt. You may not have those things. So a lot of black people that go to college, first of all, half of all black college graduates default on their student loans. That right there takes you out of the game. That kills your credit score. It kills your ability to grow, to invest, to buy real estate, to start that business, things like that. So that's one big variable that you really want to pay attention to. And if you want to know why black wealth is going down, I think student loans are the number one reason that black wealth is actually declining and not increasing. It's one thing if you talk about history and you say, okay, the reason that our economics are not where they should be is because for 400 years, people have been stealing from us. All that's driven by fact. All that is 100% true. Dr. Claude Anderson and others have written books like Black Labor, White Wealth, which you can find at powernomics.com, by the way, that explain all that in extreme detail. That's not a debate anymore. That's not something that anybody can really argue. However, here's where the debate kicks in, and this is where intelligent Black people need to get on the bus. If you're intelligent, if you're an intelligent Black person, shout yourselves out. I'm sorry, I don't want to support ignorance. I want you to be smart. Intelligent Black people shouldn't just look at what happened in the past. You need to look at what's happening right now, and also look at what's happening right now as it pertains to what's going to be happening in the future. Don't look at where your car is located today. Look at which direction your car is going, how fast it's going, right? And that'll tell you where that car is going to be in the year 2040, 2050, 2060, 2070. And right now, based on economic behavior, based on specific economic choices, based on the kinds of opportunities you seek out, based on how you conduct yourselves in this economy, it's heading negative for a large percentage of the Black community, right? So a lot of times these economic indicators that tell us the economy is doing great and everything else, most of the time that's really not been deeply connected to the Black experience. Even during the Great Depression, a lot of Black people didn't even know there was a depression because they were always in a depression. They were always poor. It's not like they got poorer during the Great Depression. They were poor during the Roaring 20s. They were poor during the Great Depression. They were poor during the post-war era. It never really changed, right? So the same thing is true, I think, in this particular case. I think the Black economy is different from everybody else's economy, and I stand on that. I don't care if anybody thinks it's racist for me to say that. I have nothing against white people, Jewish people, Asian people, nobody else. But my number one goal is to help Black people understand you ain't white. You're not white. Stop thinking that your experience is going to be the same as their experience if your actions are the same as their actions. You have to move a little bit different. So the big move that has to differentiate itself, in my opinion, and this is what we talk about all day long, every day in the Black Business School, all of our experts, is that when you're Black, you have to understand that you're going to have to kind of build your own economic engines. You're going to have to create your own opportunities. You have to become what I call an economic playmaker. So what does that look like? Well, an economic playmaker might be somebody that understands the basics of starting businesses, working together with your family. In my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, which you can get at drboycebooks.com if you want to take a look, I wrote the book, I created a workbook, and I created flashcards so you can teach these concepts to your kids. All that's at drboycebooks.com. In this book, I specifically talk extensively about the Black economy and specifically what the Black community needs at large and what you need as an individual to make sure that you never get blocked from economic opportunities, economic possibilities. What tends to happen is that we do what people tell us to do, and then we get blocked from the opportunities we deserve, and then we sit around and we complain about it, and we say, this ain't right. They doing us wrong. They doing us dirty. They racist. They racist. And I'm the guy who says, of course they're racist. That's what they've always been. What makes you think that the world is different? What makes you think that somehow the magic floodgates have opened? Oh, I get it. You've been brainwashed since birth. That's one of the reasons why we went and hired therapists, because I said we need therapy. We need somebody who's going to slap us out of this false reality that somehow the world is a fair place, that somehow everything's going to work out wonderfully for you just because you did what they told you to do. And the thing is that by following the trajectory that's given to you as a child, you're walking right into the rat trap. You're walking right into the rat trap. They slam the door behind you because capitalism is built that way. Capitalism isn't just a rat trap for Black people. It's a rat trap for weaker people. It's a rat trap for people who don't have resources. It's a rat trap for anybody that is tricked into the worker mentality. 3 categories of consumer behavior put you in the rat trap of capitalism. You ready? There are 3 types of behavior that's very persistent, particularly amongst our people, that put us in the rat trap of capitalism. The 3 things are excessive consumerism, buying consumer products. They train you to do that because that's why the economy is so strong, is because consumers keep spending money and they're going deeper and deeper in debt to do it. Number 2 is job-seeking behavior. Corporations love to suck you into those jobs and not pay you the money you deserve, but you get locked in because you got student loans, so you're really kind of a sharecropper. You're stuck. You have no other opportunities or options, so you have to keep working for somebody in order for you to get what you want, when I believe that you should also know how to have your own business or create your own possibilities. Number 3 is being a renter. If you are a renter for most of your life, then a lot of your wealth will be drained. They will suck the economics out of you like a vampire sucking blood out of your neck, and you're going to end up drained and depleted, and somebody's going to end up fat and rich off of the economic blood flow from your family. So in all these behaviors are trained at birth. All these behaviors are part of the culture, and when people establish toxic, unhealthy economic culture, then that leads to toxic, unhealthy economic outcomes, which leads to the direct transfer of generational poverty. Give me a yes if you're following what I'm saying, so I know I did something good today. Okay. All right. So anyway, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Watkins. I'm a finance PhD, and I love to talk to my people about economics, and I do this almost every single day. I also have, I'm also on Spotify. So if you look up my name on Spotify, you can find I have two podcasts on Spotify. One is called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. The other one's called How to Make Money Without Working. And actually, if you'd like to get, I did a training on how to make money without working involving stock options. A lot of you love what we're doing in that class. So I'm going to share, if you want to see the training, feel free to go to my website, boycewatkins.com, or you can just text the word stock to 31996, and you can get deeper involved with the Black Business School, where we've created a Black-owned institution that has helped 10 million of our people buy their first share of stock. And that's hugely significant because I told you all the data says that stock ownership is the number one variable that divides the wealthy from everybody else. All the data says that if you get your kids involved with the stock market at an early age, your kids are going to be better than their kids. Your people are going to do better than their people. Your family is going to do better than their family. I promise you this. This is what the research says. So anyway, I'm going to get on out of here, guys. I don't have much else to say. My new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. So feel free to go take a look at that. And I'll keep you guys posted on some other things we have going on in the Black Business School. And thank you all to those of you that joined us at the All Black National Convention that happened in Atlanta. It was a lot of fun. We did that last week, and we'll be in Chicago next year. So if you'd like to see what we did at the convention, all the learning, all the training, all the work that we did, the connecting, it's a beautiful place. The energy is positive. The people there are very intelligent, very helpful to each other. So if you want to go take a look, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you soon. Peace.